I turned 10 and my parents told me you are going to learn an instrument. They thought it was important. You can choose or else it's going to be piano. And I chose guitar. So I wasn't, I don't know, particularly musically inclined at first, but picked it up and loved it and couldn't stop doing it. Played kind of jazz band in middle school, jazz guitar, and then switched to the bluegrass world for a while in high school. And then my good friend Zach showed me Weezer in college, and that is how I learned about the electric guitar.
Rob Ruckus,
Nick Collins,
Kate Clover,
Keith Semple,
Isaiah Mitchell,
Billy Harvey, Tim Howard. Check it out, Almost Famous Magazine.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Hang right here on Almost Famous Magazine. I'm your host, Scott Saldinger. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for hanging with us, getting to know musicians, learning their stories well beyond just their music. It really means a lot to us here at the magazine, and trust me, it means a lot to them as well because you become part of their community. If you're new to the channel, thank you for showing up. Please, you know what to do. You've probably done this on other channels. Subscribe, hit the bell. Share it with your friends. If you're returning because you love what we're doing, have you told your friends about us? If not, why? Come on, get with the game. Also, if you're someone who, doesn't want to join us on YouTube, but prefers to take your podcast on the go, well, you can listen to us anywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can find us wherever you find your podcasts. Today on The Hang, as part of our Dollfest coverage, formed out of chaos, catharsis, and killer hooks. I defy anyone to say that 3 times fast and get all 3 times right. The Dreaded Laramie. They fuse punk-leaning attitude. We love good attitude on this podcast with power pop melody, turning heartbreak, rage, and self-reckoning into loud, fearless anthems. Their songs hit fast and honest, equal parts vulnerability and defiance. They deliver them with a DIY grit, feels ripped straight from the pit, and your heart wired for repeat listens. We're going to dig into their emotional wreckage, creative rebellion, and unapologetic energy that makes the Dreaded Laramie a band you just don't hear, you feel, and you must go out and see. MC, welcome to The Hang.
Scott, thank you for having me. It's so good to be here.
Absolutely. I'm excited for this. And plus, look, you're in one of our favorite cities, to be honest. We have so many artists from Nashville that have been on The Hang. It feels like we're talking to family when we get someone from that area on. So I'm glad you're here today. We're going to talk about Dollfest, but first, I want to know all about you. Yes, you, and you, the band. Okay, so we're going to go back to your musical beginnings. How did your relationship with music begin? Did you find music or did music find you? Tell me the story.
Great question. Yeah, I turned 10 and my parents told me you are going to learn an instrument. They thought it was important. You can choose or else it's going to be piano. And I chose guitar. So I wasn't, particularly musically inclined at first, but picked it up and loved it and couldn't stop doing it. Played kind of jazz band in middle school, jazz guitar, and then switched to the bluegrass world for a while in high school. And then my good friend Zach showed me Weezer in college, and that is how I learned about the electric guitar. And that there were good things happening with rock music, and especially 90s infused rock music. But yeah, it's been a long and winding journey kind of getting to the place that I am today.
Wow. So, how would you say bluegrass?
Yeah.
All the way to now kind of punk forward. That's a pretty broad spectrum. How did you decide, okay, punk is where it's going to be for me?
Yeah, good question. I really think it was my friendship with Zach, who also was the other founding member of this band. He's since moved on to work on his own endeavors, but we started the band together, and it was really that friendship that put me in that world. I feel like I should say, too, important is by the time I had gotten to college, I did not consider myself a musician or a songwriter really anymore. Like, I wrote songs in high school, played music in high school, obviously still had the ability to play an instrument, but by the time I got to college, I was rejected from my college's songwriting program. And so thought, okay, I'm not so good at this. And then I got to college and I heard the other kids' songs who were in the songwriting program and thought, man, if they can get into this and I can't, I really ought to be doing something different. So I was even studying music business in college for like a few weeks my freshman year, but then discovered philosophy and was like, oh, thinking about weird stuff. I'm good at that. I'm not good at music, but I know I can do that. So I kind of switched, just totally left the music part of myself behind. And then when that friendship kind of eventually, Zach was a commercial guitar major at the place where we went to college. And so I knew that he did that. And yeah, he showed me Weezer and we kind of talked about it. And eventually it came out that I wrote songs and he gave me the encouragement and confidence kind of to start doing it again. And so it was natural that, okay, yeah, I guess that's the kind of, we're going to play music together and this is what you like. And like, I think it's really cool too, even though I'm new to it. So like happenstance, circumstance is what put me there, and a lot of like discouragement along the way.
Wow. No, that's amazing. I mean, it sounds like he had a lot of major influence on you and really kind of brought a very valuable relationship to you and giving you that enthusiasm and that guidance and that encouragement to put your words and your music out there to bring it to the world.
Definitely. Yeah. The band wouldn't exist without him. And I should say, like, he's still a very dear friend. I'm in a couple hours going to go play trivia that he hosts down the street from my house. We're getting a drink after. So yeah, he's
nice.
Had a tremendous influence and is still a very dear friend.
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned that he was part of the origins of the band. So that everyone kind of gets a little bit of love today, tell me about the whole band. Tell me who's involved now and what they kind of bring to the chemistry and the mixture for the music.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the band in its current makeup is me, obviously. And I play guitar and sing and write the songs. And then playing drums is Sean McCann. He's an Arizona native who moved to Nashville. Oh gosh, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. Sorry, Sean, if that's wrong, but I think about that long ago. And we only got connected with him at this point, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And then right now, the rhythm section / guitar is in the flux a little bit. Here, I'll tell you who's going to be playing at Dollfest. How about that? Ben Miner has been the bassist for the band, but is moving over to guitar for Dollfest. And our great friend Sim Castro, who plays in Teens in Trouble and has his own project, the Albert Square, that rocks, is going to be playing bass for us. So the lineup is we're trying new things out. Yeah, but it's exciting, and it's a really cool people who are
nice,
kind, and great collaborators.
Now, in doing a little bit of research, I went out there to find your music, and I went to your Bandcamp, and I heard your music. I'm always interested in an artist's perspective on, because people put out singles, they put out EPs, they'll put out albums. You got to collect. Your body of work is a collection of songs, right? So that people who are watching us right now have an opportunity or an idea of where to start with your music, right? What are 2 or 3 of the songs that they can find out there in the wild that you feel best speak to the music? Meaning it's the appetizer to get them excited for the rest of the meal. Where should they start listening to your music?
Yeah, nice. Okay, I'll give 2 reasonable examples or answers and then 1 more unreasonable one, but that still feels authentic. I don't know. You can tell me what you think about the last answer. But first, our record that came out last year, Princess Feedback, feels like the closest thing to where we're at now. I think it's still pretty different and it's great and I'm proud of it, but it is less developed than where the band is now. I guess everyone thinks that, right? Everyone's sick of their old stuff. But on Princess Feedback, I think listening to the songs Fishnets and I Should Go probably are, the ones that I'm most proud of and are a good introduction to the band on kind of 2 ends of the spectrum. The not so, sort of narrow spectrum of, punk rock and power pop. The other thing I would say, and this is the one that, you can tell me if you think this is a bad answer, but the most recent thing we've recorded is a song that's only available on the Warped Tour compilation CD, like the physical CD. It's not online anywhere, so you can get them through Smart Punk, our record label, or you can get them from us at a live show. But we have a song on there called "The Gettier Problem" that I think is a great, much more accurate reflection of kind of where the band is now and what to expect if you came to a live show. I don't know. What do you think about recommending people track down a CD?
Well, if it makes people buy a ticket to see a show that you're playing at so they can buy that CD, I am 120% on board. No, I'm 150, 200% on board. Absolutely. Because why? You've got to support your artists. You've got to support artists. You got to buy tickets to shows. You've got to buy what they're putting out, whether it's a shirt, a keychain, a CD, whatever. We have to be supporting our artists, and everybody who watches The Hang knows that we are passionate about that. Yeah. So you know what? I think it's fine that you have one out on a very limited CD that people have to show up at a show, buy a ticket to get in, then they can buy it themselves. The first two that you mentioned, though, let me ask you this, because one of the things that we don't do here is we don't play anyone's music on the podcast because we don't want copyright strikes. We don't want to get, all the garbage that's going around, because record companies, even if an artist were to say to me, you said, Scott, run our music right now, we're still going to get nicked for it. So we don't do that.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about each of those first two songs and what makes them special. Like where did they come from? Give us kind of a theater of the mind idea about these songs so that people go out and find them. Right.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll start with general remarks that apply to both, and this applies to probably the whole record. But Scott, you put it pretty well in your intro. There's songs that are like Princess Feedback is a breakup album, totally is. As much as the world doesn't need another one, unfortunately, it's what I have to give, or had to give at that point. So it's very much kind of grappling with interpersonal issues. I don't know. I'm proud of Fishnets, especially because of the way I feel like we are able to kind of marry. I guess that's not a very breakup term, marriage, but marry together kind of the feeling and the sonic quality of the song. So it's a song about kind of the whiplash of a breakup. Feeling totally fine one moment, like, oh, I've got my morning pages notebook here. I journal every morning. It's about I'm doing good. I'm in recovery. I'm journaling and I'm drinking tea and I'm feeling mentally stable. And then I get one text message and that's all out the window and now I feel terrible. And so the song, I don't know, I feel like kind of a dork breaking it down in this way, but it is what it is. The song then in the chorus switches to 6/8 from 4/4, so there's meter change and it slows down a lot, but still rocks, I think. There's a lot of that kind of trying to sonically capture the phenomenal experience that the song is about. I don't know, maybe everyone's doing that, but I'm also trying to do it. But yeah, I don't know, that's what I'd say about that one. And then I Should Go, also a breakup song, but kind of more, about how hard it is to leave something that you really don't want to leave, and that does give you things that you want in a lot of ways, but you ought to. I don't know, the kind of tension between here's what I should do, whatever that means, which also, I don't know, isn't always trustworthy, depending on, where the should is coming from. Here's what I should do, and here's what I want to do, and they're really in conflict. And I think that's another theme of the record in general. Just kind of this amateur auto psychoanalysis and trying to communicate that into song form somehow. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I've got to tell you, I thank you for being so open and authentic in that response. It's not easy to talk about the stuff you go through. And sometimes, songs are more mystical than they are apparent, right? Mm-hmm. So your transparency, I appreciate that. It's, what's interesting is you mentioned, you journal in the morning and then you go out through your day and one little text message and you're lying in the fetal position on the floor in your walk-in closet crying, right?
Uh-huh.
Except those are the moments that no one puts on Instagram or social media because everything is sunshine and butterflies, right? And I think that we've entered a place where if we don't, as a society, become more authentic, where are we going to really end up? Just in a fantasy land of this is what I want you to believe my life is like, but it's not. I mean, that's not reality. And that's certainly not a way that you build authentic relationships with people. And I think the one thing that you and musicians and artists have the opportunity to do is build an authentic relationship with an audience, but you've got to always be authentic with them. It's not a part-time job. So I can appreciate where you're coming from and what you're doing with your lyrics, because we are not as authentic as I think we need to be in the world these days. So
yeah, fair enough. I mean, am I allowed to ask you questions too?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Turn the tables.
Hooray. So I agree with you. I mean, although when I think about it in practice, like the social media thing, I think is an impossible not, because it's like, yes, I agree with everything you said. And also, I don't think the solution is people should be posting when they're in the fetal position in their closet more often, you know? And what is? I don't know. I don't have answers. But, like, I mean, maybe it's just like, let's nuke social media, which also isn't going to happen and is impractical. But authenticity, yes, for sure. I feel like I lack artistry sometimes because I don't know how to do the mystical thing. Like, you know, you said some songs are mystical. And I think that's true. And probably for some artists, it's perfectly authentic, you know, writing the thing that people are like, oh, what does that mean exactly? I think of someone like Alex G, whose songs I really like, but a lot of the time I'm like, well, I don't know what any of these lyrics mean, but it's cool. And I don't know if it's a matter of like my job or the way I am as a person, but I like clarity a lot. And yeah, it's like saying exactly what I mean and trying to get that communicated as clearly as possible. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm curious what you think about the kind of the relationship between authenticity and clarity.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're drawn to, like, it's obviously important to you too, but if you're drawn to this like kind of clear lyrics that are saying it as they are, or if you find yourself getting into the mystical thing, if you find mystical stuff being authentic, like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting territory.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't mind mystery. You know, I mean, look, I think we all spend time sitting down with a Queen album going, what in the world did Freddie Mercury really mean? But we know he was authentic as hell, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. But he was consistent in that. And maybe I should have used that word, right? You need to be consistent with your audience.
Sure.
But I think that, you know, whether it's living in a world of a lot of toxic optimism, right? We've lost as a society, I think, authenticity first with ourselves, which then becomes a lack of authenticity with others. Because it's easy for me to show you something on social media. Look at the great time I'm having. Life is wonderful. And I kind of make a little bit of a euphemism out of the lying on your floor in your closet, you know, thing. But is there that much sadness in reality of how people's daily lives are, and authenticity, and the fact that it's not all sunshine and rainbows? No, it's not. And I think that the further we get away from being able to express ourselves that way, whether it's out of societal fear or anxiety of what other people are going to think, the further we get away from being true and honest with one another. And that's where I think, from a societal standpoint, we break down the ability to say, okay, this is reality, right? Look, technology gives you and I the opportunity to now know each other, and from a great distance. And I think that's fabulous, right? At the same time, how many people don't know each other in real life? I mean, if you think about, you know, and there's nothing wrong with gaming, but I know a lot of people who know people through video games, and that's it. What is the extent of that relationship, right? Is that person going to be there at 2 a.m. if you need to be bailed out of jail, or, you know, you're standing outside of a club and you're doubled over because you had too much to drink and you need a friend? You know, that authentic relationship where we're really there for one another in the real world is what I think that we are moving further away from. And And it's sad in a lot of ways to me, right? Because I remember all the great times I've had with people, but I forget a text or I forget a post. And technology, I think, has been a great way for us to advance a lot of things, but I think it's moved it further away, moved a lot of people. I'm not saying everybody, nothing is absolute, but further away from having that connected tissue that makes us human. So, that's kind of my thought about it. I mean, and I I love music of all shapes, colors, and sizes. You ask anybody. I mean, we know no genres on this show. We cover everything, right? But we also live in a day and age where when you think about that authenticity to an artist, you're out there, you showed us your journal. I have no doubt that you're writing words in that every single day. But right now, there are people typing some stuff into an agentic AI and putting it on Spotify and making more money than someone who poured their heart and soul into that journal to bare their soul to the world, to sit down with a guitar and find the chords that work together, find the rhythm and pattern to bring together a melody, and then put it on a stage, raw and in front of other people. Yeah. And that's what that is where I think, we're kind of coming a bit unraveled. Honest.
No, totally agree. Yeah. I mean, and I think you were already getting at the thing that I wanted to add to the remark, which, technology brings us apart from one another in the real world, which, there is it's awesome that we can keep up with people. It's awesome that we can do this. And it is also just massively different than being in the presence of someone, than being able to hear someone's voice coming out of their body instead of, computer speakers or even a microphone, honestly. That's maybe the Bluegrass purist in me talking. But anyway, the other thing that technology does, and like AI is an example of this, but it also comes from organic matter too, is what the philosopher Harry Frankfurt calls academically bullshit. There's just a lot more bullshit, in the world that's pervasive and people connect over it, and it is the center of a lot of our kind of online lives. This it's not exactly a lie. It's certainly not the truth. It's not authentic, but it's going to engage you. It's gonna enrage you. So that's another way it tears us apart by bringing us together, or giving us things to think about.
I mean, if you think about it, we've hit a point where people are having relationships with large language models, like romantic, what they think are meaningful relationships with a database.
Yeah.
Right. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have universities teaching classes on how to get over your addiction to your digital device.
Really?
Neither of these things should be things that we're doing. We shouldn't have to be worried about the entire society, the planet, being locked in on a digital device. And we should not have people who think that a relationship with a database, right, is what is going to bring humanity in their lives. It may give them answers they want. It'll never tell them anything they don't want to hear. But at the same time, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
We're here. I'm a big believer that none of us are getting anywhere we want to go without other human beings involved. And I don't care if you are the CEO of a company and you're the biggest a-hole in the world and you treat your employees badly. You got there by stepping on their backs. Yeah. It took people, right? Or stealing other people's ideas, which happens, right? Or you as a musician putting together a band, you need those people. We achieve our goals and our dreams because we work together. Mm-hmm. We are meant to work together. We are meant to find people in this life who can help us get us where we want to go. Yet we live in a society that is so broken right now that's working really hard. There are factors working really hard to divide us all because of our gender, because of our ethnicity, right? Because we think a little differently. And we see each other as on the opposite side of the street because of that, although we are made of the same flesh, muscle, blood, and bones as every other person on this planet. And the only difference between you, me, and anyone else is what's inside this computer up here. That's it. How sad is it that people are going to put stuff in here that's going to separate them from people as opposed to unite them with people? It's sad.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it makes me happy to hear you put things that way. For work, I'm a university professor, and the main class that I teach this semester, 3 of the classes that I'm teaching are critical thinking classes. And I like a lot of what we talk about in this class is kind of social epistemology stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, kind of exactly what you're saying, like the way we like to think of, I don't know, our beliefs, the things that we think as being, just in here. And yeah, it's how we're different from other people, but it's just in here. And what matters is the way I act or something like that, and like failing to recognize, no, what's happening in here, like is shaping your whole life. And it's tremendously important what you allow in and what you allow yourself to act on. So yeah, I agree. And it's sad that, it is the beliefs, the ideas that we treat kind of so frivolously a lot of the time are the source of bad stuff.
I was just thinking the word frivolously. Yes, you're absolutely right. The exact same word. We don't give it the respect, right? We don't respect a lot of these things anymore. And without that respect, we treat them as many things in society as disposable. Our relationships have become disposable. If you don't get me where I want to go, goodbye.
Yeah.
Right? If I buy a new set of ear pods and they break, well, I get them fixed. I'll just buy a new pair. We treat everything so disposably these days that we don't give it the value of care and compassion, love, and everything becomes temporary and fleeting. And that's I don't understand it. I mean, I don't have the answers. Trust me. Maybe I need to take your class, but I think that's kind of, just so we bring it back to music, that's how people are treating music and art these days. Right. I mean, and it's sad because music, art, all take not only the creativity that comes out of you, but it takes resources. A painter has to buy the stuff. Hell, they have to buy the canvas.
Yeah.
What are you going to do without a guitar or a piano or something to get those notes in the order you need them to be in? You have to buy it. It's got to come from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yet we're going to treat the product that is created, and I hate to use the word product, but that's what it's considered these days, the final output, as some sort of cheap commodity that I can just get anywhere, so why should I pay for it? I mean, that's not what we're supposed to, that's not how we're supposed to be cultured human beings. We're supposed to hold up and honor those who, not only create, but are willing to take that creation and give it to the world, right? Because you can create for yourself and keep it in your house and no one ever sees it, or you can give it to the world. And when you're willing to be that vulnerable to the criticisms that come with that, you have earned whatever people are willing to give you for it. Yet we live in a commoditized world where you're not making money on Spotify. Let's be honest. I mean, you're not producing your next album. You're not paying for the studio on your next from Spotify. How do we get this way? Commercialism and capitalism took over, and unfortunately, some of those at the top don't give a damn about those like you or I who are trying to just make stuff and bring something better to the world. And now it's streaming platforms that, can't support the efforts, and people who are taking the emotional burden of that.
Yeah.
And it is an emotional burden. So
sure.
That's my soapbox.
And it truly doesn't help that people tend to prefer, for convenience and popularity, the worst streaming service of all of them.
Well, okay, so you just hit on
Spotify.
You just hit on something, convenience.
Yeah.
Think about this. You put a record out. I mean, I don't have a record player anymore. I buy a ton of them for my niece. She's 15 and she has the musical eclecticism of a 40-year-old and so many records. She's going to go to college and have the best record collection in her dorm. But we don't invest in our time in music anymore. We don't sit down and put the album on and have a tactile experience with it, where we're pulling it from a sleeve, we're putting it down, we're putting the needle on it. And then because we're afraid to scratch it, we listen to the whole side and we invest ourselves in that experience. We're shufflers. And if we don't like this song, we go to the next song. If we don't like this song from this artist, we go to the next song. And we have things that tell us, oh, if you like that song, you're going to love this. And our music experience loses the value of experiencing music. And that's why I keep, I'm spending her inheritance on albums now because that is, that lack of that, if you think about it, with that musical tactile experience, we used to sit down with boxes of photographs and negatives, right? When was the last time you printed a photograph? I mean, when was the last time you had a tactile experience where you sat down with a photograph and you just looked at it? Now it's okay, you're swiping on your phone from the zillions of them you have in your phone, right?
Yeah.
I used to know where every photo was. Now I've got to sort by date and sort by this and location, all this other garbage. Right. Those two experiences alone are part of being a human. That's what we were created and made for, our ability to have that tactile experience, that in the flesh, in the moment experience. And I work in technology. I love technology. I'm a geek, right? I saw a guy take 20-year-old technology last night and turn it into a sound generator that can mimic speech today. It was pretty cool. So I'm all in for technology. But we've got to stay grounded in our humanity better than we are.
Yeah, that Scott reminds me a lot of something Adorno says in his essay. It's called, I'm sorry, this is going to get drastic pretty quickly, but I think it's a relevant and good point. The essay is Education After Auschwitz, that talks about the purpose of being education to prevent genocide. But there's a section in it where he talks about the danger of the fetishization of technology, in this context especially. But yeah, there's a massive difference between the person who, the example he gives, the danger is someone loves trains. They love train systems. They love designing the sleekest and best and most efficient train. And they do such a good job of getting the timetables just right and the trains, perfectly efficiently able to hold so many people that they lose sight of the fact that they are taking people to death camps as efficiently as possible. Yeah, it's technology is great as long as it isn't for its own sake, for the sake of humans.
Well, I'm going to tell you one more quick story, and then we have to talk about you going to Dollfest.
Oh, yeah.
But because we are here about you. This is, it's funny because I had a conversation with someone recently, and they're a little technology adverse, and they're like, "I hate AI," and I'm like, "Okay, why?" "Oh, it's awful. It's going to take over." Okay, so you've heard stories, you've heard other people's opinion. I go, but I'm going to ask you a question. A hammer, it's a tool. Mm-hmm. If I take that hammer and I pound a nail into a board and I build a house, is that a good use of that tool, that hammer? I'm like, yeah. I go, what if I take that hammer and I bludgeon someone to death? Is that a good use of that tool? Absolutely not. AI. If you use AI in a productive way, in a responsible way, it's a great tool. It can help you, give you speed. It can bring you ideas, bring you efficiencies, all kinds of good things. But if you use it to figure out how to harm someone or how to steal from someone or emotionally hurt someone, is that a good use of that tool? And I think we lose sight of the fact that these are just tools that we use to get to some destination. It's up to you to decide whether you're going to use the tool properly or you're going to use it for nefarious means, right? And I think that's why, we have movies that, make robots seem nefarious, and that's why people are afraid of AI. But, you can use AI in very good ways. You can use a large language model in very good ways that's productive, but you have to understand that it's a tool.
Sure. I think the only objection lowercase o I would make is that when you use a hammer, it doesn't have an immense ecological impact, even when you're using it for good things.
That is true. I can go down a rabbit hole about energy, data centers, and LLMs, and we'd probably be here recording this for the next 3 days.
And
So, but we're here for you. We are here for you, MC. Tell me how you got involved in Dollfest.
Yeah, well, Maria, MC, is a fellow MC, and so we have to. There's a group chat of us, all the MCs in the world. Just kidding. I think so. Maria and I met when we played. I think we met at a gig. When we played, I think in the Bay Area, like not last summer, but whatever the time before that was. She came to the gig, and it was Portland. No, she came to our Portland show last summer. That's why I was, yeah. But she came to the Portland show. I was like, whoa, this really cool person like knows our music, and things were cool. And she mentioned, I do this thing Dollfest, and we were like, yeah, let's stay in touch about it. And it didn't work for us to play last year because of other things we had going on, but yeah, we kind of kept in touch, and we've run into each other at a few other like gigs and events around the country. But really, it's just like she rocks and took the initiative to come to the show and introduce herself, and I think she rocks, so we kept in touch, and here we go. Now we're going to the West Coast in March.
I love the fact that she has no fear to ask. I love that about her. And I love it for her, because you have, if you don't ASK, you won't GET, right? So, I love that about her. And it's a very similar story that we're hearing from all the other acts that are involved in Dollfest. And I think that that's what's going to bring a lot of success to Dollfest down the road, right? Not just this year, but beyond that. I'm curious, and we talked about your former, bandmate earlier. Mm-hmm. Is there someone else, just one individual, who has had a huge impact on you and your musical career that they imprinted on you in a way that's with you all the time?
Yeah. So I'll give two answers. Most recently, that person has been our producer, Dave Schiffman. He made Princess Feedback, and been starting to work with him. Like I think about lessons I have learned from him in that studio experience constantly. And he also is a friend and mentor who I talk to on a regular basis about various other things. Like I just produced a record for the first time and was talking to him kind of throughout it and beforehand about how do I do this, and it's been great. But the especially kind of things that he taught me, in ways that he taught me to unearth things about myself vocally in the studio. Like I think about when I'm playing every show, even, not even in a studio context. But yeah, there's like a long laundry list I could go down of, the specific line items that, he taught me this and this and this. But Dave Schiffman has had a massive influence on who I am as a musician and how I go about things. I think that answer is probably good enough, and is the truest answer I have.
Again, love your authenticity. Love the fact that you're authentic and you're transparent. So I appreciate that. And you know what? I think you're lucky to have him in your life.
Yeah, I really am. It's a miracle that he responded to my cold email. Will you make a record with us? And I don't know that he responded at all, much less flew to Nashville without knowing me. Is awesome, and I'm grateful for it. And I don't know why he would do it.
And it goes back to what I said about Maria. If you don't ASK, you won't GET. Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone who's ever perished because they asked somebody. The worst that happens is no. So, we love to put good things out in the world here, because it's all about potential and possibility. And once you release it to the wild, you never know where a message can go. You never know whose ears it can fall upon. And we have an amazing audience out here with the Hang. If you had an opportunity to get in the studio for a day with another artist, could be a musician or a producer, but someone that you would just love to collaborate with, whether it's your dream collaboration, it was on a vision board, it was a goal, whatever, who would that be and why?
Man, this is such a good and hard question. It's hard to choose one. Can I choose one band instead of a person? Or does it need to be a person?
You know what? No one's ever chosen a whole band, so yes, you can choose a whole entire band.
Okay, awesome. I know that's kind of goofy, but I have been just head over heels for the new Snowcaps album, the like Katie Crutchfield, Allison Crutchfield, MJ Lenderman supergroup. And I think all of them rock individually. Like if I could, I mean, I'm trying not to say I just want to be like in their band, but I think all of those people are like songwriters I admire in really different ways. And if I could get in a songwriting session with any one of those people, or I wonder if people would be willing to three-way co-produce. That would be cool. But yeah, I'd say Snowcaps, the band.
All right. It's out there. Anybody watching? If you are attached to these people, if you know somebody who knows somebody, if you've got a distant cousin or relative who knows somebody, get to work. We're going to make this happen for MC.
Yay!
For sure. So let's take the force majeure that we have as being an amazing community and see if we can make this happen. One of the things that, and I talked about it earlier, we hinted at it, as about supporting your artist. And that is what we're here about at the Hang. I mean, we want artists to be supported. You go out and you buy tickets to shows. You go online and you purchase their music. You purchase the merch. You dig into your pocket and take a couple of dollars and give them to an artist so they can continue to bring you the joy, happiness, and love that you have for their music, please. So down below, you're going to find links to Bandcamp and wherever else you can purchase the Dreaded Laramie music. So please go ahead and support MC and her efforts. That being said, we also love to share the fact that we all kind of like different kinds of music. You know, what we make sometimes isn't what we listen to. And we listen to music because it fills our souls and our lives. When you're not making your music, who are a couple of artists that you've got on repeat or you're digging right now, that if we were just sitting here in the same room, you'd be like, Scott, you've got to listen to this person and here's why, or this band and why. Mm-hmm. Who are a couple that you'd share with me?
Okay, top of the list has to be Liquid Mike. They totally rock. They're like from, I think 2021 is when they started or something like that, but just put out their 6th album. So they're like prolific and great. And it's, what I love about the band is you listen to it and it's like, oh yeah, that's rock music for the first time. Like, I think I get the idea, but the more you listen to it, the more you're like, wait, no, this is genius and the best rock music I've ever heard and the best lyrics. And it's so profound and interesting and cool. Okay, Liquid Mike, number 1. I really like the new Dirty Nil album. And speaking of Southern Ontarian bands, Deal Breaker, whose shirt I'm wearing right now, we were on tour with them last month and they totally rock. I'm a big fan of listening to their new and unreleased stuff. They've got a record coming out this spring that's really good that you should keep your eye out for. And then if I can just name a few other bands that I like listening to, I have loved listening to. I feel bad saying unreleased stuff, but sorry, I'm going to brag. I spend a lot of time listening to unreleased music from Lizzie from Teens in Trouble and Bad Boy. Like Hannah and Lizzie will send me demos every now and then, and it's like some of my favorite songs. And their released music also rocks. Like Fun Machine and What's Mine are both excellent records. And then, yeah, as far as Nashville people go, Ghost Town Remedy is a band in town who we really love, and they're kind of like doing a very, I wouldn't say similar, but I mean, I don't know, kind of similar. We both appreciate guitar minis very much. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, those are a few bands I really like listening to and think are cool people.
Awesome. See, now I have people to look forward to. Although we've talked about the Dirty Nil here before, because last year for the month of June was Canada Month, and we had like 6 episodes with Canadian artists. So they've come up before. But now we have new people to listen to. Here's what we want to do. Number 1, we want to support the Dreaded Laramie. We want to go out and we want to buy tickets to shows, all the good stuff that's going to bring a smile to MC's face. Number 1. Number 2, we're going to buy tickets to go to Dollfest. Okay, if you are thinking about a festival to go to this year and you want to support a festival that is female forward, that is inviting to all people, it sees everyone, and it's a community. If you want to go to Dollfest, get your tickets now. Go buy a plane ticket. Hell, get in the car while you're watching this. You know what? Go listen to us on Apple Podcasts. Put this on, drive and go to the shows. But support Dollfest. And in the meantime, I am going to make this offer to you that when your next album comes out, you let me know in advance, because we're going to do this again and we're going to walk through that album and we're going to go from what you wrote about on the last album to what the new album's about. How's that sound?
Sounds amazing. It's going to be very different. We're getting ready to record the new album right now. It's like imminent, and it's the reason why we have so few shows this spring. One of the other reasons you should go to Dollfest. It's one of only 3 shows we're playing, like, I don't know, that are on the books for this year, but at least until the late summer. So, and it's the only one on the West Coast or in the western half of the states. So, yes, when that new record comes out, which should be hopefully fairly imminently. I would love to chat through it with you.
Absolutely. And you know what? Maybe we bring your producer and the people on the album. We'll just do it together.
Yeah, sounds great.
We'll have a group chat. So everybody, thanks for hanging with us. This is always, we appreciate you sticking with us. These are amazing conversations. You never know where they're going to go. And it's always fun just hanging out, getting to know people, which is why I love doing this. And MC, I thank you so much. It's been such an honor to get to know you. I'm going to try and get to Dollfest. Fingers crossed. But our paths will cross again. Everybody, thank you for joining us. And please treat each other, treat yourself with the love and respect that you deserve and that you should be giving to others so we have a better world. So please do that for yourself. Do it for us, and be the best person you can. So till the next time, MC, it was great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.